Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. How are you doing today? Do you want to hear about some Supreme Court cases? Well, why don't we go pick one out and we can read about it? No. Whew, alright. Let's see. Oh, this one. Let's hear about this court case. Alright. Well, it all started a couple of years ago.
It is September 12, 2012, and I, as representation of Green Family and Hobby Lobby Incorporated, am suing Catherine Sebelius under the Free Exercise Clause of the First Amendment and the Religious Freedom Restoration Act of 1993, finding distribution of contraceptives to female employees of Hobby Lobby Incorporated through the Patient Protection Affordable Care Act to be immoral and against my Christian values.
On the contrary, this is against the employees' rights under the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, in that profitable companies are not allowed to deny health care coverage of contraceptives to employees due to religious beliefs. Furthermore, in the United States versus Lee case of 1982, there was a precedent set to regarding the limits of free exercise of religious conscience by employees.
The requirements of the Affordable Care Act to provide contraception violates the First Amendment to freely practice religion and the Religious Freedom Restoration Act of 1993. So we are not going to provide contraceptives. End of conversation.
This is not the end of the conversation.
Goodbye and good luck in court.
Well, it looks like these two couldn't solve their problems with just a FaceTime call. Let's go online and really get into what happened after that. Alright, I'm gonna read a little bit online about this court case. Only from reliable sources, of course. Alright, well, it says here that Burwell versus Hobby Lobby reached the Supreme Court after initially being filed in the U.S. District Court for Western District of Oklahoma, and after going through requests for injunctions, it finally reached the 10th Circuit and had a hearing of the case in March 2013. After the 10th Circuit heard the case, the court ordered the government to stop enforcing contraceptive rules on Hobby Lobby. The case was sent to the district court that granted injunction, and finally in September, the court appealed the case to the Supreme Court. Now, November 26, 2013, that was the day that the Supreme Court finally accepted the case. Now, you guys have already heard the basic argument of the case, but what was the outcome of it? Let's go online and look. Alright, it says here that the court ruled 5-4 that corporations controlled by religious families cannot be required to pay contraceptive coverage for their female workers. And I'm going to list here on the sides who the majority and minority Supreme Court justices are, so you guys can take a gander at their names. And it should be enough time for you guys to read the names. Now, the question of whether the religious freedom that is ensured in the First Amendment protects companies that are for-profit from not providing certain things under insurance is basically what was up for debate during this trial. The court ruling not only affected the 23,000 Hobby Lobby employees. That's more employees than me. I don't even have a cameraman. I have a tilted tripod, and it's really annoying me that all the videos are going to be tilted now. Anyway, this court also affected other lawsuits that challenge the Affordable Care Act contraceptive benefit. This case opened the floodgates for other companies to restrict the healthcare of their employees based on religious beliefs. Anyway, it also affected other lawsuits that challenge the Affordable Care Act contraceptive benefits and other cases relating to religious freedom. Now, the Supreme Court ruling decided that it was their responsibility to enforce the Religious Freedom Restoration Act as written. And under the standard that that act prescribes, it consequently ruled that the HHS contraceptive mandate is unlawful. As quoted by Lori Windham, Senior Counsel for the Beckett Fund for Religious Liberty and Counsel for Hobby Lobby, this is a landmark decision for religious freedom. The Supreme Court recognized that Americans do not lose their religious freedoms when they run a family business. Whew, that was a big court case. Now, there are a lot of questions in it about religious freedom and morals and whether you should force someone to prescribe certain health benefits to people if it goes against their religious beliefs. And wow, I have a headache now just from thinking about it. It's amazing how these Supreme Court justices are able to hear all of these cases and make rulings on them. We should really appreciate them more, because I feel like this judicial branch sometimes gets swept under the rug with the executive branch and Congress, which is the legislative branch. Good for you, Supreme Court. You guys are doing stuff. Well, I think I'm gonna go back to my reading. I'll catch you guys next time you want to hear about a Supreme Court case.